Hi, I'm Dave Monty and welcome to my video series, Everything Villages. Today I am going to do a market update for the villages. It is July 2024, so stay tuned. As always, before we get started, if you'd like a copy of my free 42-page guide, Buying and Selling a Home in the Villages, you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com, and I'll send you out a copy. I also have a nifty little cost of living calculator for the villages, as well as pretty much a full-blown budgeting tool. If you'd like a copy of that, you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com. And just as an FYI, it does require Microsoft Excel to use. All right. I haven't done a market update in a while. So yes, I am been asked a couple times. Yes, I am still in real estate. I've just been almost way too much in real estate. There's a little bit of an adage. You're either working on your business or in your business. And I have been working in my business quite a bit. Been very busy and haven't had too much time to work on the business, which is this is part of. I do have other videos. I'd like to point those out. I have videos on pricing. I keep doing part one and promise part two, and then something always pops up. So I'm going to get to this, I promise. I also have Biggest Bang for Your Buck, where we talk about updating homes. And we used to do it only for buyers when I was working predominantly with buyers, but I'm also helping listing clients as well update their homes before they sell it, or helping buyers buy the home and update them after they buy it. And it's probably the best value you can get in the villages. Again, I have my cost of living calculator, understanding the two different markets here, buying sight unseen. There's just a ton of information up there about the bond, taxes, etc. All of a sudden, the market seems to me a little bit confusing. The numbers are telling me one thing, but my gut and my experience is telling me something is different now or is about to happen, and we'll talk about that. But in general, the numbers are showing that it's an incredibly strong market. Interest rates have kind of remained untouched for the last 6 months, so the buyers are kind of conditioned to those new higher interest rates. There's rumors that there's going to be a couple of drops on the interest rate by the Fed, which will help bring those numbers down. The homes that need updating are staying on the market much longer. Prices have been very consistent, which might be counterintuitive to people who've been watching the market. There was a huge disconnect in the market where sellers were continuing to put higher prices on, having to drop prices to come down to reality, and the buyers see those price drops and think that is now a strong buyer's market when it's actually still a fairly strong seller's market. Okay, and we'll talk about that. Then there's a big unknown, the National Association of Realtors lawsuit. The effect of that lawsuit is about to take place August 17th. Now, I usually introduce a topic like this in one of my market updates, but this one's too important, so I'm going to pull it out. I'm going to talk briefly about this so that hopefully this market update is a little bit quicker than most. Months of inventory. If you've seen my videos, you understand what this is, but for people who have not seen my videos before, months of inventory is probably one of the strongest indicators of the health of the market, whether it's a buyer or seller's market. How you arrive at months of inventory is you take the number of homes that are currently on the market and you divide it by how fast homes are selling, how many homes per month are being sold. And that tells you, if no other homes came on the market and everything is in a perfect world, how many months of inventory would you have left if nothing else came on the market? The reason why this is powerful, because I could just tell you, hey, there's 500 homes on the market, and that means nothing. How fast homes are selling is an indication of how big the market is and how healthy the market is compared to the number of homes on the market. A balanced market is 6 months. Anything less is a seller's market. Okay. As far back as I can see, it's always been a seller's market here in the villages. I can't see back to 2008 to know exactly what happened back then, but it's pretty much, as far as you can see back 10 years, it's been a strong seller's market. And today's no different. Okay. So currently we have 463 homes on the market. Over the last 3 months, we've averaged 156 homes in sales. Now, this is just on the MLS. On the VLS side or the villages side, their numbers are going to be relatively the same on the resale market. So the months of inventory is about 3 months, slightly under 3 months, which makes it a healthy seller's market. Now, it may be counterintuitive to what buyers are seeing, And again, I have a slide that will talk about that. Now, I believe just a stat, months of inventory, means nothing. To me, it's about trending and how things have gone. And trends and graphs can tell a little bit better story. Pre-COVID, we had 5 months of inventory. This is still pre-COVID. Inventory started coming down a little bit. All of a sudden, and I believe this is actually real close to the beginning of COVID. So boom, months of inventory went up, and then they just started shooting way down. So during COVID, we were measuring months and days. I think the best that I saw, or the worst that I saw, depending on which way you're looking at the market, was about 8 days. And then after COVID, it came up, shot through the 4 months, and it's been bouncing between here over the last year and a half or so. All right. Next little indication is how long are homes sitting on the market before they go pending. Average days on market, again, telling a story. We're ticking down pre-COVID, COVID, boom. All of a sudden, the days on the market, there was on average, I would think it was like 9 days, how long a home stayed on the market. A good balanced market, you're at about 60 days, and that's what we saw. All of a sudden, we're at 60 days. It's kind of a balanced market, and we're bouncing around this number. Some of these little peaks in here can be caused by just a handful of homes that happen to be sitting on the market for a couple of years that can skew some of these numbers because there's not a huge data set that we're working from. The next is price per square foot. So and this is sales price per square foot, not asking price. Asking price looks completely different. But you'll see, ticking along pre-COVID, nice, healthy increases, month over month, and all of a sudden COVID hits and the pricing went through the roof. At the peak of COVID, we're right here, and then all of a sudden it turned back over. So we did have a little dip after COVID and settled out. But now we've been pretty stable. This shows ticking down slightly. This depends on where you are in the market. So intuitively, I've been selling homes, and they seem to be a little bit higher in price. Because it just happened to be selling some homes that are a little bit higher in the market. So I really wanted to understand, what I was seeing versus what the numbers are showing me, which is a slight tick down. And what I found is that the higher end homes with a view and a pool, continue to increase in price. Right? It's a very short supply here and a very high demand, and that continues. So we are seeing homes with a view and pool increase. Next thing I did was, let's go to the 2-bedroom villas. What's going on there? Now, this is kind of almost the same exact graph as I showed before. The reason that this is so close to the overall graph is because there's many more of these sold than the more expensive homes. And then I went somewhere in the middle of the designers. And you can see this with the designers. This is kind of COVID right here. They did dip right after. And again, this is probably just a messed up data point. But you can see those are slightly ticking up as well. Okay, so pricing is stable, if not ticking up right now. Now that's all well and good, but where are prices going? This is where it's going to get a little bit confusing. My gut's telling me one thing, the numbers are saying something else. But let's talk about what has been going on a little bit in the market and why there's still a little bit of confusion. Here's reality. Pricing was going up, COVID happened, and now they flattened out. For some odd reason, sellers keep putting asking prices further and further away from reality. Now, this has changed a little bit. So I think this is what I mean. Sellers are finally getting the memo. Okay, but what buyers were seeing is these asking prices which are not realistic, and the sellers had to decrease prices until they're getting down to closer to reality. The buyers are seeing these decreases and thinking this is happening. It's been a little bit more complicated to do business here because the sellers keep wanting to put higher prices on the homes, and the buyers are thinking that they can lowball everything. So it's been a little bit, like I said, a little bit of confusion. The good news is that the sellers are starting to get the memo, and they're starting to list their homes closer to what they actually are going to end up getting for the home. Again, asking price versus real sales price here. Okay. Now going back, why would they keep doing this? And this is because most people who follow the market, whether you're a buyer or a seller, you're looking at asking prices. You rarely go back and see what a house actually sold for. So, a house down the street, they asked this for it, so I can ask more for mine. I said, well, they didn't get that for it. This is what they got. So, again, big difference between asking and selling prices here in the villages. All right. There is a statistic that says, list price versus sales price. It's a little bit misleading because it actually should be original price versus sale price. Because when I lower the price, that's the new listing price. So sometimes, if I were to graph out the percent of what homes are selling for against the asking price, it's still healthy. It's about 3% off from the asking price. But again, that is the latest asking price, not the original price. Number of buyers are down, and I put a question mark here. Again, numbers show a really strong market still here for sellers, a much better market for buyers than it has been. In the summer, the number of buyers is way down anyway than you would get during busy season, but the buyers that are in town are more serious. During busy season, people are half vacationing, half trying to learn the villages, kicking tires on the houses. So the percentage of people who are actually ready to buy in the busy season is much smaller than the percentage of people that come in the summer. Many fewer buyers in town, but the ones that are here are looking to buy. I'm getting a sense that the number of showings is way down. I've got 6 listings right now, and the number of showings is way down while we're doing everything we can. We updated the homes. They look great on the MLS. We're pushing to all the third-party sites. It's on YouTube, Facebook. I'm in the paper. So when I'm listing the homes, we're doing all the right things, but we're seeing the number of showings way down, and starting to get a sense that we might start seeing homes sit on the market a little bit longer. Again, this is my gut and what I'm seeing, but it's not backed up by the numbers just yet. Here's the big elephant in the room. So the National Association, I said against the DOJ, and I'm going to have another video that is specific to this topic. Okay, but the National Association of Realtors was sued by a third party. The DOJ got involved, and the settlement of that lawsuit, the changes that are going to take effect are going to start happening here in mid-August, August 17th. There's some new rules in place. My belief is we'll end up getting to a almost business as usual situation, but I think it's going to take several months to get there. I think this change is going to be incredibly disruptive, and I believe it's going to be a little bit more disruptive than most people believe, okay? So, 2 rules came out of this. The big thing the DOJ wanted was to separate commissions for, why is the seller paying the buyer's commission as well as this seller's agent commission. Logically, it does make sense to have the buyers pay theirs and the sellers pay theirs. But in my next video that I'm going to do, I'm going to go into this topic deeply and kind of explain why the lawsuit makes absolutely no sense. The changes make no sense. We've been given very little direction by the National Association of Realtors, and all of a sudden we're just going to be thrown in, and no one kind of understands kind of the standard of how business is done. So again, my punchline is I think it'll end up being business as usual, but I think it's going to take a little while to get there. And again, look for my next video. All right. To summarize, numbers show very strong sellers market. My gut tells me that we're, for a number of reasons. One of them is the lawsuit and the changes that are going to be implemented started August 7th. Over the last just few weeks, I just feel the number of buyers, or at least the number of showings, it just was steady, and then all of a sudden just way down. I've had a lot of buyers this summer change plans, push it out to next year. I'm going to do something in the fall. Decided not to move. So there's been a lot of changes. The one thing that I didn't talk about in this video is that they've also started really reducing the price of new homes in certain sections like Dabney and like Denham and things like that. I was working in an open house the other day. I had 3 different people who live down there come through the open house just saying, we just don't like it down there. We're always in our car to do anything. And you can do that in any retirement community. So why am I paying a premium in the villages to be in my car half the time? The fact that they're lowering prices down there might also be having an impact on the resale market a little bit. But the big one is going to be, what's going to happen here mid-August. like I said before, if you'd like a copy of my free 42-page guide, Buying and Selling a Home in the Villages, you can email me right here at davemontysales@gmail.com. You can also get my cost of living / budgeting tool right here as well at davemontysales@gmail.com. I hope you found this video informative. I hope to see you around the villages. Take care.